This is Global Forum TV. In our new series today, India 2025, we bring you eminent personalities from India and share their vision, comments and opinions about what India would look like in 2025. This is your host, Ameena, Saeed.
The mantra to understand India is Gandhi. Once you understand Gandhi, then you know the way out is there.
If you are going to promote chauvinism of the majority, or what I call chauvinism of the majority, either through the BJP, the opposition Bharatiya Janata Party, or otherwise through one of its ancillaries of what is called the Sangh Parivar, you're going to atomize the Indian political scene.
Drift is going to be China.
Okay.
India will become, as far as some of the core issues of the world are concerned, the global laboratory. Income inequalities have never been more explosive than they are today. I mean, you know, it's always been an unequal and hierarchical society.
India is a very stabilizing force. Indian history, Indian culture, and Indian population, Indian immigrants abroad, all this shows that India is an extraordinarily stabilizing force with the capacity for integration.
The whole world is looking at India as the future of this entire globe.
A great country, a proud country, but a country which under capitalism is unfortunately very much unequal. A country in which a part is the urban India and the rest is rural Bharat.
Hi, this is Global Forum TV, a platform for global issues with global perspectives in today's global village. In the series India 2025, we bring you eminent personalities from India. And today we have one such person who needs no introduction. He is Inder Kumar Gujral, the Prime Minister of India from 1997 to 1998. Besides being the Prime Minister, he has been in public service all his adult life. He has held such positions as Foreign Minister of India, Minister of Information and Broadcasting, Minister of Communication, Minister of Works and Housing, Minister of Science and Technology, India's Ambassador to Soviet Union. More recently, Inder Kumar Gujral was the first Chancellor of the Maulana Azad National Urdu University, Hyderabad, from 1999 to 2005. Welcome, Mr. Gujral. Thank you very much for being with Global Forum TV.
Welcome to you.
We are very happy to have you here.
Welcome.
Mr. Gujral, how do you see India today on the world scene?
You see, the perspective that you think of future naturally has to be linked with our past.
Okay.
India has come up unexpectedly by some when India became free. There were people like Churchill who thought that Indian nation is a myth.
Right.
It would not survive at all. Their diversities are such that what in Churchill's vision, this was a myth. I think in last 60 years we have proved that Indian nationhood is not a myth. It's a reality. So therefore, when you think in terms of future, you must think in terms what India has done to itself in these 60 years.
Yes.
We are a large nation. We are a diverse nation.
Very.
We are a nation with a multiplicity of religions, castes, everything. And the basic thing that India has proved in these 60 years is that diversities can be an asset. And we have shown it. We and to the leaders of this nation, we have proved that we can be diverse in every sense of the word and yet be a nation together. Those in our neighborhood, those who thought that diversity is not an asset, they could not do it, what we have done.
What is India's globalization strategy and where do you see India in the year 2025?
You see, when you look at India, it is not a question of what we look forward to. It is a continuity of. The basic thing about India is that whether it's think of future or a present, we think that we are in a way trying to prove what our own nation leaders have visualized. we will continue to be a diverse nation. We will continue to uphold the cause of different nationalities, of course, in terms of different languages, religions, everything, and yet find common factors.
Okay. Do you think that India has produced any surprises?
No. Indian surprises for those who thought, like Churchill, that India would not survive.
Okay. Okay. In 2025, where do you see India in relation to superpower and regional power?
Well, I don't use the word power.
Okay.
I think these are again, whether you call superpower, regional power, that is not the way of looking at India. India has to be looked at in terms of what it has achieved and how it is achieved. I tell you an interesting anecdote. 3-4 years ago, I was visiting Libya, and President Gaddafi asked me a question. He said, how many languages do you speak? I told him, I said, if you are asking me personally, it's a very small thing. No, he wanted to know the nation. I said, but at that particular time, we had 16 official languages.
Right.
He got hold of a pen and pencil. He didn't realize how do you do it. I said, this is the strength of India.
Right.
We have different languages, we have different religions, we have different ways of life, and yet we go ahead. We have never let the diversities become a liability. When India became free, Jawaharlal Nehru, speaking in the Constituent Assembly, had said that we can be diverse, but that even then we can be. In our neighborhood, Bangladesh, why did East Bengal didn't survive together? Not because they were not wanting to, but because this vision of Jinnah, that if you are one religion, then you have to be one nation.
Okay.
That is India's strength.
Assuming that in 2025 there will be new centers of power like Brazil, Japan, China, Russia, European Union and USA and India, where do you see the rifts and the alliances?
I don't think there's a way of looking at India's future. World will always be diverse. World will always be multiplicity of many languages and strengths. From the day one, we built our foreign policy on this basis that Japanese, Chinese, anybody, we can have good relations with them. And therefore, we don't have any intention of overwhelming anybody, nor do we think anybody can overwhelm us. Therefore, we go ahead.
But in today's globalization scenario, some of our foreign policy and values are changing.
Globalization is a very mixed concept. What does globalization mean? Globalization to me means that we are reversed, we live with neighborhood, we like to live with each other. India and Japan have lived together for how many centuries? India and China have lived together for how many centuries? It's all right. So if globalization means capacity to tolerate each other, capacity to live with each other, I think since we have this basic paradigm, there is no danger to it.
What issues will define the relationship between these emerging powers and India? Will it be water, oil, technology, markets or population?
You see, technology, science, if you look at Indian Constitution, one of the things that Jawaharlal Nehru had said, that India wants to be a modern nation. India should be scientific temperament. India should tolerate its own neighbors. What did he do the first time? First thing Jawaharlal Nehru started with was, he called the first Asian conference, even 3-4 months before we became formally free. Why did he do it? That was his concept of calling all the neighbors of Asia and all those nations which were victims of
Colonialism.
Correct. And that is the vision, victims of
Colonialism.
correct. And That is a vision that will continue.
What will India's major strength be in the global world?
There is no global village. These are myths which only the media builds. We are living within a diversity nation. We have learned the art of living together, both within our own paradigms and also outside it. And I don't think that would be the real appropriate question to ask, because it doesn't take you anywhere.
Okay, I mean, by global village we mean that today in a village everybody knows everybody, so, and we are interdependent. Everybody in a village is interdependent.
That is exactly what India's vision.
Earlier we were not dependent on other nations. Today the whole world is known as a global village because everybody is dependent on everybody.
No, earlier we were colonized.
Right.
For 3 centuries, 4 centuries.
Yes.
And the biggest achievement of India was that India started the phenomena of decolonization.
Okay.
Whoever expected that a stage could come when all the colonized nations could become free, and particularly whoever expected that the miracle of Gandhi could be here.
Right.
That not only did he end colonization, he ended it peacefully and non-violently. So therefore India's way of living in the neighborhood is always there.
What do you think is the process of decolonization? What was it?
Primarily Gandhi. If you want to understand the phenomena of decolonization, how did the mightiest of empire of the world collapse? Not by any violence, not by any war. And that is the relevance of Gandhi, and that will continue.
Despite the fact that India has a dynamic and growing middle class, there are as many people who are in underclass and underprivileged. Where do you see them in 2025?
That is a real challenge before India. That talking in terms of Gandhi, having Gandhian vision, how to end these, some things which really worry us. We want to end poverty. We want to end any diversities which do not help in living together. Caste system is one of them.
How would we get rid of caste? It is so old.
Unfortunate, but again you come back to Gandhi. So therefore the mantra to understand India is Gandhi. Once you understand Gandhi, then you know the way out is there.
You think Gandhi is relevant today, even though we are signing a treaty, a nuclear treaty with the United States?
It is not only the understanding Gandhi, but Gandhi is the only way for our future. The humanism of Gandhi, treating everyone alike is Gandhi, thinking that all the skirms of past, which have been for centuries kept us down, that is Gandhi.
How do you think Gandhi would have reacted to what is happening in the parliament today and what is happening in the world? I mean, about
it is not happening for the first time.
Okay.
It has happened in the past also, and every time we have done it. And what is happening in parliament today? We are differing, talking to each other, and finding a way out. That is Gandhi. That is democracy also. That is the way how we can solve our problems.
Would Gandhi have agreed to our alignment with the superpower in terms of technology and nuclear technology?
Though there is again the paradigms of friends like you and me, we do not see the broader canvas of the situation. Broader canvas basically is that we have learned to live with each other, within the nation, outside the nation, and we shall continue that.
Which elements of India's soft and smart power do you see enabling India towards superstardom?
Again, these are mythic things. We have never aimed at becoming any superpower. We have aimed at building this nation of diversities together. That's all. And we have no vision nor any objective of building our nation as superpower or superior power. We are neither super nor superior. We like to live with the people.
So what image do you have of India in 2025, if not a superpower?
I have a vision of India which was spelled by Gandhi himself. Good neighbors, living together, tolerating each other, holding each other's hand, and moving forward together.
To what extent India's fault lines like caste, religion, region, and abject poverty hold India back from becoming a superpower?
Yes, living with the rest of the world. Neither trying to overwhelm anybody, nor getting overwhelmed by anybody else.
Right, but these fault lines of caste, region, religion, and poverty, do you think it will limit India?
Well, it is a quantum. If you look at 60 years ever since we are free, we are not the same as we were 60 years ago. And we will not be the same 60 years hence.
What are the worst or best case scenario for India in 2025?
The worst scenario in my mind is if we are not able to eliminate poverty and also women's rights. These are two major challenges before us.
And the best case?
The best, of course, is unity of diversity.
What are the worst or best case scenario between North, South and India? Where do you see the rifts? Where do you see the alliances?
North-South divide basically is the continuation of the what was called the colonial region. They had different words were used. Sometimes the North-South, sometimes it was East-West. So those were the languages of those who want to dominate others. India doesn't have any objective.
No, but they are dominating the South. The North is at present dominating the South. If you take the entire...
And where are they going?
So you don't see any problems with
No.
North continuing to dominate?
No, we have to understand that this is not our objective in life. This is not a spelt paradigm for India's future. No. We don't look at neighbors as something inferior to us or something superior to us. That is why what is commonly called the Gujral doctrine, that is the basic things. We want all our neighbors of South Asia to be friendly and friendship.
Can you explain a little bit your Gujral doctrine?
Basically because I had said at that time and continue that all our neighbors in South Asia, we have all come out with a great deal of effort, the colonialism, and we must hold each other's hand to emerge together.
What kind of relationship do you see between India and Pakistan in 2025, and what will be the shape of South Asia?
Well, this is a challenge for the future. The misfortune in South Asia has been that although all of us have a colonial past, but unfortunately all our neighbors are not democratic. And misfortune also is that the basic approach to tolerating each other and also looking at future as fellows and fellow beings is not yet seen in our neighborhood. I do hope this will come.
You are considered to be an expert on India-Pakistan relationship. Give us a little background, give us a little, some of your comments about what is happening in Pakistan today and how it will impact India.
The misfortune has been Pakistan's misfortune, that the army never let them breathe. If people of Pakistan who also want to be democratic, if they are allowed to have their way, a relationship between our two nations will be very different. People of Pakistan must be allowed to become democratic. And if India can ever help in this, we shall always do so. The problem of Pakistan is basically one, denial of democracy.
Where do you see the largest Indian minority, namely the Indian Muslim, placed in this, India developing as a superpower?
India's largest minority is Indian minority.
Yes.
And once we understand this, then problem can be solved. We have never treated Indian Muslims as something different than non-Muslims, and they must not be. We have always looked at it as a diversity which is a part of us. And those who have tried to upset this have their different objectives in life than India has.
The fact that this is a minority that is lagging behind, that's literally drawing India back, and it is wanting in terms of education.
Being a minority, what does it mean? Till a year back, we had Kalam as the President of India. We have Manmohan Singh as Prime Minister of India. We had Narayanan, a Dalit, as the President of India. This is the way out. That all our fellows, whatever their caste, whatever their religion, are only small diversities which we must not try to erase, nor must try ever to overlook.
But these are considered to be token representation, which doesn't really trickle down to the actual
representation is given by the democracy itself. Nobody has a preset as to who shall be what. Whoever thought that Manmohan Singh can be Prime Minister of India? Whoever thought that Kalam can be President of India? This is India. And that is our strength and that is our pride.
Will India be forced to change some of its norms and values in terms of globalization?
Well, at its own cost if it does. I don't think any thinking Indian would think that way. What does globalization mean ultimately? Some words are used without meaning anything. We are a democracy. We are a democracy of a billion people. We are people who like to live in diversity, helping each other. The problems that we confronts all diversities of India. Women problem, for instance. It is not that a Hindu woman's problems are different than a Muslim woman's problems. Once we are able to look at it in terms of diversity and democracy together, then these formulations would not be there.
Well, what I meant was, changing our values and attitudes, becoming more westernized and taking on Western values of not taking care of our elderly people, nuclear family and all of that.
You see, India as a nation, we are a modern nation. The modernization is a common problem for all of us. It is an asset and also a liability. And therefore all of us look at it positively of life. When you come and talk to me, I don't look at you as a woman of particular community. I look at you as a community, as a person, as a woman, modern in outlook, with a future of hope.
Will the role of religion in public life increase or decrease in the next 20 years?
No, religion should not decrease. Religion, what we have to live with our different religions. Diversity is something which is not our liability. We must learn to respect the diversity. But once we do it, nobody ever asks Kalam whether he was a Muslim or a Hindu. Nobody ever goes to Manmohan Singh and says, are you a Sikh or a Hindu? Issue is not that. Issue is we know we have diversities. We know we respect diversities. We are born together. We will live together.
Politicized religion,
exactly.
Use of religion in politics.
That is what I am saying. Role of religion is a part of political phenomena. And that is why you give the names. Is Manmohan Singh is a Sikh or not? Nobody asks him that you have to change their views or your religion. Nor was it asked from Kalam. Nor did ever any ask me about this thing. Respecting the diversity is the problem, is solved.
Yeah, I was more wanting to ask, there are certain parties who use religion to create a divide and create vote banks on the basis of religion.
I didn't get you.
There are certain political parties that use religion to come into power.
There are some political parties and groups who think differently. And we want to convert them by persuasion and by democracy.
What 3 words would you use to describe India as you see it today?
India today is a nation of diversities. And diversities are respectable. And through diversities lies our future.
What 3 words will you use to describe India as you would like to see it in the next 25 years?
As Jawaharlal Nehru described, I want a future of India, modern nation, diverse nation, respecting each other.
Thank you, Mr. Gujral. It was wonderful to have you here with Global Forum. Thank you for giving us time. Thanks. That was Inder Kumar Gujral speaking to Global Forum. This is Global Forum, a platform for global issues with global perspectives in today's global village. Thank you and good night.